Hello there, welcome to another week in our garden. I'm just taking a few side shoots off. We're up in the greenhouse, as you can see. Everything's doing very well this year in the greenhouse. We have a few tomatoes to pick, a few cucumbers. The peppers are ready, but we're leaving them a little while yet. We're hoping they're going to change colour soon. If we get some sun, they'll change colour. So we'll get them picked and show you what we've got, and then we'll move on outside to show you some standard fuchsias that we did. Okay. Right. I'm just going to pick the cucumbers that are ready. I'll use the secateurs, it's easier. I'm having to squeeze my way in here. Just hope I don't break anything on the way in. There's one. It's slightly lighter colour because it's been behind the foliage, but it'd be a nice cucumber, that one. I'll pass it to Di. The other one is up here, as you can see. Now if we don't take these, it'll stop these other ones. You can see where that one's actually dying. It's not producing because they've got these here. So if we remove these, we allow the sap to go up to those. This one's doing fine, but we'll add this one. Nice snip. Just take the end off. There you are, it's a good cucumber, that. Right, there's one more over this side. This plant is producing so well. I'm going to grow these again. They're huge cucumbers, I'll show you. Just look at that. Look at that, and it's a good weight as well. No wonder they're breaking the plant. That is one good cucumber. And this cucumber is producing so well, and it's such a good plant. I think what I'll do, I'm going to try and save some of the seeds off this one. Now looking at this tomato here, it's gone absolutely mad with flowers. Now we know that there's no chance that all these are going to produce tomatoes. They'll produce on the beginning of the stem, and then as you can see these flowers will just shrizzle and die. So to save the energy of the plant, I'm going to what we call flower pruning. You just take some of the flowers off just to ease things down a little bit. Far too many, as you can see, look up here. So I'm going to take a lot of these out. If there's no tomatoes on the bough at all, I should remove the bough. Like that one. There's a few on that one. That one. That one. And that one's there. Now you don't have to do this. They just will not bear fruit, but you can. I'll take them off just to encourage them a little. See, that one's got none on it there. That one, I'll take one of those. Right, if you look at them, they've got tomatoes there, so we might go a few on that one. So we'll take the end of that one. We'll take the end of that one as well. Just looking at them, we'll take that. They're so densely packed, it's difficult to see. And these up here, look, there's far too many. And the ones that are touching the glass will probably not produce anyway. So if there's no tomatoes on that whole branch, I'll take it all. Which there's not. Let's have a look at you now. I'll take this one as well. There you are, a bit of a chance now for them. That one's got a few on it. We'll leave that one. We'll take that one now. They are the small, very sweet tomatoes. There's no way this can happen. No way can all these bear fruit. It'll probably pull the bush over it. And obviously the more you get, the smaller they'll be. and you don't really want them ripening at this stage. You want a little bit more swell on them than that. If you see any that are producing leaves like this, just take them off, they're no use. It's really trying hard, this plant. So there you are, that's flower pruned a little. I could actually take it further in. There's a leaf there, look, we don't want leaves on the flowers. And there was one here, wasn't there, I wanted. That's that one. It'll give it more of a chance to bear some fruit. I'm happy with that. The tomatoes are producing, but there's a lot of shade from the leaves. So next week I'll show you how to reduce the leaves so we can get the tomatoes ripened. Diane says she will take a green pepper to use, so I'll probably take 2. Okay. There's a couple down here we could use, so we'll snip those off. We've got loads and loads coming, if you can see, so 2 will probably do it good. So that's what we've picked in the last few minutes. As you can see, all the peppers are producing very, very heavily, and I've put a string around the top just to give it a little bit of gentle support to stop the peppers bringing it over and snapping the stem. Right, so that's the little harvest done in the greenhouse. We'll just show you those standards that we made. We actually took the cuttings this year and brought those up and made small heads. We'll show you the progress of those, and then we'll go down and have a look at the chicken hut. Here's the standards that we raised from cuttings this year. Made nice little standards, quite pleased with them. I did lose 3 that have now made bushes where the tops didn't develop enough, so I cut them off and made them into bottom bushes. Now we're in the chicken coop. We've had some requests from people who want to build one similar, so I'll just take you through what I did to build this one. First of all, it's 14 feet long and 7.5 feet wide and 6'6" to this top eave here. I put a footing in first, 12 inches deep, like a curb footing, just to support it on, stop anything trying to get underneath into the pen. And also, because it's a earth floor in here, the chickens can't really scratch underneath. This is the main construction. They're all in the battens that are easily available from the DIY. I tried to keep them to the length they are, so I don't have to cut any when I did it. That's what did the dimensions of it. I put a perspex roof on this side. I do wash it once a year, especially in the spring, because you get all the green on it. This side I made a platform. I've used chipboard, but I've used it double thicknesses all the way round, so it's a good solid base. It also gives the chickens somewhere to go underneath as well. They do a lot of dust bathing, etc. under there, and it's a good refuge to bolt in when I'm cleaning out. On the platform I did 4 nest boxes, with them being chickens they only use those 2. I don't know why, but that's the way they are. I put 3 perches up, very sturdy perches up, because they're quite heavy birds, and I gave them a window at that end so it lets the early morning light in for them. Now the front for night closes down. There's just a couple of turns on the sides just to hold it. Like that in. And then in the winter we close that as well, but in the summer I just close that and let them come out. Because it's got a good gate on it, nothing will be able to get in, so that most of them spend the night on this little table front here. I've got vents. I leave them open obviously this time of year, and all day, as soon as I let them out in the morning, I put the front up to let the air in, and that keeps it all nice. The sides are made of weld mesh or wire mesh, good strong stuff. Everyone's been stapled in, keeps it nice and secure at night. Not a lot can get through these little gaps. I have a good strong door, so at night I can just fasten the door and I know they're safe in here. And there's a bolt if we want to do any work in here while the chickens are in here. Now, as you can see, there's white specks everywhere and splashes. That's because once a week I go round, and especially the top of the pen, I spray with this total mite killer just to keep the mites from building up in there. I've been in this morning, I actually go in to do it, and there was no mites coming down, so I know it's doing a good job. Now, on the bottom of the bed, I clean this bed out every day, because while they're perching, the dead poop on the bench. So I put some wood shavings on the bottom, and then I put chicken, it's called fresh bed, and it's got a little bit of a pine in it as well, so it gives it that nice piney smell. The nesting boxes, I use barley straw in those, and I try to change them every week. And then I put some mite dust in the bottom before I put the barley straw in. All the wood shavings and the fresh bed and the mite spray I get from my local country store. It's Mole's country store. I get them all from there. We always use organic food for the chickens, pellets, and organic corn for the chickens. Don't give them a lot of corn, just a treat. If you give them a treat, they'll always come down when you want them in. So that's more or less in here. I'll just take you around to the other side where we get the eggs out during the day and show. We put this curtain up over the door in the summer. It just deters some of the birds from flying in. The chickens push their way in and out the bottom, they don't mind. But because of the latest bird flu scare, etc., I think it's best to have that up. This is the back of the coop. We just lift these up. It gives you access to the nests and the eggs in the day. No eggs today yet, I'm afraid. And then I also put a little bit of wood on in the summer months, just to give it a bit of airflow through. And it's not quite big enough for the birds to get in, so that's fine. Just gives a bit of airflow. It's all painted with safe paint that's safe for animals and children, and it's due for another paint. I think we'll give it another coat of paint maybe next month in August, and then it's ready for another year. I have put gutters on each side so it's not dripping while we're getting access to things. I hope that's helped. It's a good system. It seems to work very, very well. And all the sides that are made of chipboard, remember, are double thickness. The roof, I've actually put 3 thicknesses on the roof, so it's really thick timber top. So it should last a good while. Hopefully it lasts me out. While we're here, I'll just show you the garlic plants now they're finished. There's a pair of straight, and then I've done a little rosette, if you like, to hang up as well. And the rest I've just made a normal, like we do with the onion, string of them. I'll just hang that in the shed and take them up as I want them. But these will actually hang into the storeroom. So that's all my garlic done. The small ones, I haven't done the elephant garlics, obviously far too big to put on here. Right, we'll go down now and we're going to pick some of the French beans. As you can see, the grapes are doing rather well. The grapes are doing remarkably well this year. A lot of difficulty closing the shed door. Very nice. Very, very well. Just need a little bit more weight to them, and then we'll have them in a nice vine. If you can remember, we took this shoot along here because the grape was really growing fast, and I put two lines on to take it. It's actually filled them now, so we'll have even more grapes next year. Right, we'll go down the garden and pick some of the French beans now. Okay. As we go down, we're just passing the onions. Now somebody's asked me why I do my onions at 8-inch spaces where it says 4-inch in the book. Well, if you think these are 4 inches apart, they would be literally rubbing on each other. So 8 inches is good, look, it gives you plenty of room. So if you can imagine, if you had a row of those two 4 inches apart, they would rub together and you'll never be able to clean the weeds from between. 8 inches gives me room and I'm quite happy with that. They've made remarkably good onions. Very nice, well done. Onions are falling over on their own. I don't bend the tops over, but when they do fall, I put them in the same direction so they're not shading the next bulb, so the sun can get on them to dry them out and get them nice and mature. We're in the bee and pea net. The peas that were down here we've actually harvested. They were only 3 feet high where they should have been 6 feet, so I harvested them. There was no more shoots or flowers coming, so I took them out. So that's the alderman pea that only got to 3 feet. I won't be planting that one again. So I've planted what seed we had left to see if we can get a second crop. If not, then we'll probably give them to the chickens if they don't make much. And now beans. Where the peas haven't done so well, the beans have done remarkably well. So this was the climbing bean, Isabel. We will be growing this one again. I'll pick through and then we'll show you what we get. We're only going to take the bigger ones obviously and let the other ones come on a little and get them into the freezer ready for winter. We've had 1 or 2 boilings off them already where we've just taken enough for that day. They taste beautiful. We'll harvest and show you what we've got. And that's the first pick of Isabel French bean. Very nice crop for the first pick. We've left easily double that still on the plants, and of course a couple of courgettes. Hello there, another day in the garden. We're slightly overcast today, but that's good because that means the butterflies won't be out yet, so we can get the cabbage nets back and get these winter cauliflowers in. We have harvested the cauliflowers that we grew, but Diane's lightly blanched and they're now in the freezer. The broccoli is also nicely tucked away for winter in the freezer, and we've created a space. Now what I want to do, I want to put some more cauliflowers in and some savoy cabbages so that we'll have a follow-on crop for deep in the winter. Now as we've moved the other crops, I've just broken the ground up and I've put some lime on and a little bit of bloodfish and bone just to give it a bit of something for them to settle down on. These are the collies that we're going to put in. I don't know if you can remember, we pricked them out and we said we'll hold them till these are gone. So I've held them a little bit, they've stretched a little bit, but it doesn't matter, I'll just pop them in a bit deep and they'll be fine. These cauliflowers are called Winter 3, so they'll be up around Christmas time, and they're well rooted. They'll do rather well, I think, down here. Now I'm going to put it in just there, because if you think by the time these are growing and ready for cropping, we won't have the mesh on obviously in the winter, so we can bring them a little to the edge, so we'll stagger them along. I'll show you how to do it. Nice and deep. The ground is wet because it's been raining, so we'll put them in and then we'll press them down tight. Must be in tight. The next one I'm actually going to put just there, a good trowel's distance away. I don't want them too far apart. The ground is still hard underneath, but we'll get through it. Oh, blimey. That's it, it's broken it. I didn't dig it at all, I just forked across the top very lightly. They really do need to be solid at foot. And pop this one in. Nice and deep. There you are. And we'll just break this old land up a bit. And then press it down tight. Really, really tight. And tidy up as you go. I'll put one more in and then we'll look at the others. Break that up a bit on top, get the feed around them, really push it down tight and then tidy up. I'll continue putting these in, and all the spaces that we've created through all the tunnels where there's a nice space, I'll just break the top up, lime it well, bit of bloodfish and bone and pop one in. We've still got 3 red cabbages here, but very firm. We'll take those, we're not quite ready for them just yet, but we'll take those later and that will create the room along. You can see where I've sprinkled the lime on, and I just rake it a little bit just to mix it with the top and then plant the collies straight in. I'll also put in some winter savoys into these spaces, so that we've got a nice cabbage and a nice cauliflower in the depths of winter to harvest. I finished putting the brassicas in, the cauliflower and the winter cabbage, just in time. The sun's coming out now, so it'll be fine. I'm not going to take the covers off because the sunshine has brought all the butterflies out, so I hope you can see it. All the spaces are now filled up again. It's had some fertiliser and some lime, so they'll be ready. We've still got 1 or 2 cauliflowers and cabbages in that are going to come out, but we'll thin the bed down again. So eventually we'll be just left with the cauliflower, the winter cabbage and the Brussels sprouts. And when we get really into November, we'll take the covers off and ready for harvesting the Brussels. Now we'll go and prune the fruit bushes, the currants and the gooseberries, so I can get them mulched up ready for cropping next year. Okay, I've just on my way to show you how to prune the fruit bushes, and the raspberries are ready. So we've picked a few for tea, which would be very nice. This will be the second lot we've actually picked. It's very, very early, but they're very nice. And now it's beginning to rain, so I think we're going in for a cup of tea. Okay. Here we are at the tight end of the fruit cage. It always pushes top of my head. This is the white currant, which is exactly the same pruning as the black and the red currants. I'm just looking at the bush and I want to make it more bowl shaped. If you remember last year we pruned it so these come up nice, look, doing a good job. Something's eating the top of that, look. We'll have to find out what that is and sort it. Looks like caterpillars on there, look, somewhere. I'll find that shortly. Right, so looking at it, there's only maybe 1 or 2 in the middle that I would take out just to keep it open so that the air can get through and the sun will ripen the berries, because all these are next year's fruiting canes, so we don't want to take these off whatever we do. But looking down, if you see this one here coming up the middle, we don't really want that one, so let's take that one out. We'll take it right back at the base. Now looking at the bush, see that's nice and open in the middle now, so the air can get in and the sunshine will ripen the fruit on the top. If you look at this side, these old branches now, they really are pushing into that, which is black currant, pushing into that one, so I really need to take those off. But that's a good branch there, so we just take that one off, that one, look. We'll take that one off, it didn't look very good. This one's dragging on the floor, that's a weed there, look, we'll take that out. Well, yeah. This one's dragging on the floor, so it's got to come off. And then I'm going to remove this one and this one that's pushing into that one. So find a nice piece that's coming up nicely, there, and just cut above a node. It'll give us a better walkway through as well. There's a nice one coming up there, look, can you see that one? So we'll cut in there, look, see? And now we'll look at the other side. The same thing here. The blueberries I won't be pruning this year at all. I'll let them go a little bit. But this is getting too much across for us to have a nice clean walkway through. We'll take that off, look, because that don't look very good. Something's eaten, right? Right, so looking at the branch, there's a nice piece coming up there, so we'll take that. Something really is attacking it, look, I'll have to sort it. Be a caterpillar somewhere. And we'll take that, and we'll take that right back. You can find it there. Let's take this one as well, look, just to balance it. Now that'll be it for this white currant this year. Not going to do no more pruning to it. If you think we want it up here, so we'll let these come up next year, and then some nice new canes as well. Having pruned it, what I do, I give it a dressing of blood, fish and bone. This is out of the main container in the shed. I didn't want to carry the big container down. I should give it a good sprinkling round, and then I'll put a mulch on it, and then that'll be finished for this year. And this will feed it up and strengthen it through the winter and early spring, and it'll look good cropper next year then. The blood, fish and bone I use is in the pellet form. There's a little bit of dust in it, so I'm getting towards the bottom of the container, but my hands, which are quite big, I should put 3 handsful around it and then mulch on the top. Okay, so I'll do that and then I'll show. The root zone on the currant stay quite close to the plant, so there's no need to put it too far away. And one more around here. A little bit there, look, we missed a bit there. There you go. This is the mulch I'll be using. I have to carry it in buckets, can't get the wheelbarrow in. I use about 1 bucketful per plant, but we'll show you that as finished when all the bushes are done and mulched down nicely. While we're here, we'll do the gooseberries as I'm putting my gloves on, because they're ever so prickly. Got somewhere to put your prunings in, because you don't want these on the compost heap. They stay prickly for years. We're looking for anything that's crisscrossing inside, because it's more important with the gooseberries to keep that inside nice and open to let the air through. This is not too bad. There's 1 or 2 down here, look, that I'll have to get rid of. But I'll prune as I go. Again, something's been eating these, look. We'll sort that. So I'm just going to take some of them, not too much. I'm looking for cross branches and opening that centre up. We did it well last year, so it's not too bad. That one will be fine, that'll come out there. Look. These are terribly prickly. The other thing to watch with the gooseberries, the bottom branches will drag on the floor, so any fruit will be dragging in the dirt and mess at the bottom and getting splashed by the rain. If you put a good manure mulch on, you don't really want that splashing up onto the fruit before you harvest. So I shall go around the bottom, and any branches that look a bit too low I'll take off. If you see just here, all these will drag on the floor as soon as they get fruit on. If you've got a good manure mulch, it'll splash onto the berries, and you don't really want that. So we'll take these off. Just go around anything that looks a bit low. This one looks a bit low. There. If you just make sure when you're pruning, just take it back to a leaf joint. There'll be a little bit of dieback, but it won't be too bad. And I don't know who harvests these, but they'll have to go now. It was me actually, but I'll just take this round here off. Let's have a quick look inside. Anything that's crisscrossing, or you see that one's, but there's room, so I'll leave that one, I think. And that'll be fine now. Oh, one here, look, we'll take that one, that's really crossing. They're fine. That's about it for that gooseberry. I don't want to tip anymore. So now the air will be able to flow around the plant, and then you won't get the American mildew on your gooseberries, etc. You'll probably find that the winter will take these back a little if they're still a bit soft. And I will have to get some soap spray on them, because something's definitely eating them. Now I'll do the same with this, with the bloodfish and bone. Give it a good 3 handsful round, and then we'll do the same with the mulch. And then when the whole bed is finished, I'll mulch between everything with some manure mulch all round, and then we'll be able to leave this bed till next year. The blueberries we won't be pruning this year. Obviously they don't want a manure mulch. They are the acid lovers, so if anything, if you can get some old Christmas tree at the end of Christmas, put it through your chopping machine and put that on. Right, same again. All the plants will get this, with the exception of the blueberry obviously. And then that will give them a feed to perk them up. You don't need to use bloodfish and bone. If any good fertiliser will do. A general fertiliser. Or as they would say in gardening, a good balanced fertiliser. So there you are, 3 good handfuls on it. Remember not to put your trimmings onto the compost heap. You can chop the currant trimmings up and put those on, but definitely not gooseberry. That's how we'll do the fruit bushes all individual. As you can see, I've taken the tops off the strawberries now. The new leaves are all coming through, and then I'll finish them all, and also give those a good dressing of a balanced fertiliser just to keep them perked up for next year. Now with the strawberries, I'm not going to mulch the top of the strawberries, because if you put the manure and the mulches on the tops, you actually rot the crowns. They're very, very shallow rooted, so a little bit of fertiliser is a lot better. This is the fruit bed now, all been nicely pruned. There's plenty of air can get through those bushes now. I've put a cloak of manure around them, but tight on I've used the compost from the bin. The muck that's between, when we've had a couple of showers of rain, it will wash down, then I'll just fork that in. The compost around the bushes will actually stay there. That's quite... Hi everyone, we're down still in the fruit cage. I'm just finishing off doing the strawberries, taking advantage of the cooler weather to do a bit of digging and getting ready. Looks quite well. Now we were going to do some juniper trimming this week, There was a bit of pruning once doing on juniper at the front, and one or two of the flowering shrubs that we've got round there won't do it. Obviously we can't do it now, it's beginning to rain, so I'm going to call it a day for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it in the wonderful rain, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye now.